If you're unsure which defenders you should be looking to target with your matchday 1 draft, don't worry, I've got you covered with the ultimate guide in today's video. Now before we take a look at any players, we are trying to hit 6,000 subscribers on the channel by the start of the new Premier League season, so if you want to help us hit that goal, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Right, we're going to start off with the 4.5 million defenders. I feel this season we have been absolutely blessed in that regard. I've also not included every single option on here. I've also excluded some of the 4 million options. These are just come as like some of the top picks I've obviously been taking a look at. 8 Nori's not on here. Obviously Harwood Bellis isn't on here as well. They're kind of, you know, two standout players that a lot of people have been talking about within the FPL community. But these are the ones I have selected that I would like to talk through in today's video. First of all, I'm going to kind of talk through all of them as kind of why you should do this. And I think this is probably going to be what a lot of people are going to do. I think with the quality we've got, with all these 4.5 million defenders, I think we can rotate round very, very easy. I reckon maybe have one premium defender and then the rest, like probably a premium, 4 million, and then 4.5 million defenders that can kind of just rotate around with each other. You can take them out when they don't fit because there's so many good ones that you can pick from, in my personal opinion, this season. As you can see, just with the fixtures alone here, a lot of them have decent fixtures in match day 1, but then match day 2 there's some difficult ones, but it's okay because Robertson's got Leicester, Anderson's got West Ham, Martinez has got Brighton, Dan Burns got Bournemouth. Same with match day 3. Again, you've got some of the ones that had decent fixtures in 1 and 2. They've got little tricky fixtures. That's okay. Ezri Konsa's got Leicester. Robinson's got Ipswich. Mikalenko's got Bournemouth. It just keeps going like that. And because there's so many quality ones as well, you can really put together some nice pairings, especially for the opening. I'd probably say 15 game weeks as well. Maybe 1 or 2 transfers required, just switching some players out when those good fixtures do kind of fall. But that for me feels like it could be a very good strategy this season. So let's talk through my top picks off this list. For me, some of the players I've been looking at are Dunk, obviously. He is the captain, also has decent aerial presence, as you can see on this list. Pretty good expected goal per 90, the best on this list amongst all the 4.5 million defenders. So, you know, it's probably averaging, you know, 1 in every 10 games. He's going to get like a goal in terms of expected data, but that's still pretty good going for a 4.5 million defender. I'm expecting a better defense as well this season from Brighton. They were riddled with injuries and didn't really keep too many. I think swapping goalkeepers constantly as well probably didn't help their back line in terms of confidence as well. Ezri Konsa, I imagine Villa are probably going to be pushing for top 4 again, so getting a player that is very versatile in position, was very good and looked comfortable at the Euros as well. He, for me, another one on the list. Robinson, with the strong fixtures that Fulham have at the start of the season, as you can see in 2 and 3, playing Leicester and Ipswich, that good run does continue as well after the Manchester United game. He, for me, feels like one of the players, again, we should be looking at. Good expected assists from him last season. 6 goal involvements as well across the course of last season. For 4.5 million, feels like a really good buy. I prefer Anderson over Gahey. I never thought I'd say that after the Euros, but it does also look like Mark Gahey could be leaving the club as well. And if you are looking for a Palace defender at 4.5 million, probably Anderson is going to be your boy. That also leads nicely into Mark Gahey as well. I've not included him on this list because we don't really know what's going to happen and we don't actually know where he's going to go. But I feel if the rumours are true and he potentially goes to Liverpool and we know he's going to start over Konate, 4.5 million for him could be a right steal. In one, like your Liverpool's fixtures as well at the start of the season are great. Again, another player to add to this already growing impeccable list. Mikalenko was great for Everton last season as well. I think he ended up in quite a few casuals teams because he kept picking up attacking returns. Again, some pretty decent fixtures for Everton over the kind of course of the opening 10 game week. So again, could be one of these players that fits nicely into the rotation. The last 2, I think, could be susceptible to a little bit of rotation within their own sides. Obviously, Martinez, he is a very good defender. Manchester United massively missed him last season, and when he did play, there was a massive improvement in their defence. Had a great Copa America with Argentina as well. The only concern I do have around him is Manchester Manchester United are in the market for extra centre-backs. Whether or not, he's still going to be the starting one, we're going to have to wait and see. I think he's Eric's boy, so I imagine he is still going to be the starting centre-back, but there might be a little bit of a risk or maybe some rotation. So he might be one to potentially put on the kind of warning list rather than the watch list. Same goes with Dan Burn as well. Newcastle will have players coming back from injury. They've also signed Lloyd Kelly as well from Bournemouth, so adding extra competition. Lewis Hall as well has joined from Chelsea as well, so there is going to be quite a bit more competition for me personally over Dan Burn. I know obviously Eddie Howe is a massive fan of his, but for me personally, I still feel like Dan Burn might see a little bit of rotation, so maybe for the opening few weeks he could be a decent pickup with the strong fixtures that Newcastle have got. But those are the 4.5 million defenders, some very tasty options in there indeed. Right, let's move on to the 5 million defenders. These are two that I've outlined that I'm potentially looking at. I've obviously included Munoz in my Game Week 1 draft that I did. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out on the channel. Some really good fixtures coming up for Crystal Palace. I think he could be a great shout at 5 million, especially from the old eye test. Picking up 4 assists despite joining in January as well is pretty wild, as well, as you can see there. So what's that? An assist every 4 games? Pretty good going for a kind of mid-table Premier League side as well. So very much on the radar, very much a player that's passing the eye test. And if Crystal Palace play the expansive football that they did towards the back end of last season, I think he's going to be in a lot of people's teams come match day 1. Luke Shaw, obviously, I really have a soft spot for this guy. I feel he is great for fantasy owners, especially when he is available and fully fit. He's been playing some games for England over the Euros, so it does look like he should be fit for the start of the season. Manchester United have sketchy fixtures at best, and I think when you are probably playing that little bit more than the 4.5, benching a 5 million defender, probably not worth it. But he is someone that is kind of catching my eye. He's always a player that does extremely well for goals and assists, also can take some free kicks and corners, but I doubt he'll be doing too much of that, but does have a very mean cross on him. A lot of us have owned him down the years, and I definitely think he could be back in favour this season if he can keep himself fit, and if that Manchester United defence can start to keep some clean sheets as well. Moving on to one of the biggest rank destroyers for me at the back end of last season, it is Gvardiol. Going to be a very popular pick. I've seen him in quite a few content creators teams already. The fixtures for Manchester City, they're an interesting bunch, but you would imagine they're probably going to keep, I'd say, maybe 3 clean sheets in their opening 4 to 5 games potentially. Obviously the Chelsea game is going to be a little bit difficult, but Ipswich, West Ham and Brentford all within those first 4. Very tasty indeed for him. And the main plus point, and a lot of the reason a lot of us went for him, was because he was playing out of position. Anytime you get a defender that is playing out of position, that absolutely abuses it and, manages to get goals and assists, as you can see, 6 attacking returns for him last season in 28 games is very good going for a defender as well. It just starts to become a little bit of a cheat code. Manchester City as well for XG conceded were the 2nd best defence in the league last season, only behind Arsenal, who obviously did collect the most clean sheets again as well. You imagine Manchester City are probably going to be right up there yet again for clean sheets. And obviously, Gvardiol is going to benefit from that. And the fact this guy manages to pick up attacking returns for fun as well is a little bit of a cheat code. Now, the reason I didn't include him in my first video is mainly down to those fixtures. I'm not overly convinced with them playing Chelsea, Arsenal and Newcastle within the first 6 fixtures. I think there might be a little bit of scope to potentially do a little bit of manoeuvring around. And I think going for the strategy of 1 premium, then probably looking at 3 4.5s and then 1 4 million might be a better way to go than going for Gvardiol. But if you want him to be your premium, I definitely think he could be a very good shout at the start of this season. I'm just not 100%, but it is Manchester City. They are just robotic. The way Pep Guardiola has them set up, even when the difficult fixtures do come around, they manage to keep clean sheets. They manage to still win games as well. And players like Gvardiol are definitely going to be in Pep Guardiola's starting 11. Moving on to the final player of today's video. Again, could be another one that plays out of position this season. It is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Pretty good stats to say he had a fairly, I'd say, disappointing season despite his kind of, measures that he's been putting up over the past few seasons. What's that, 9 or 8? I can't do maths. It's been a very, very long day. 8 or 9 attacking returns for him last season in 28 games is very, very good going for 7 million. And I feel Golden Goal recommended this as well in one of his streams I was watching earlier today. Obviously, if you haven't checked out his channel, go and check it out. A very, very good friend of mine. But what he mentioned was with Trent, you also get, the decent attacking returns that he puts up. You also get the clean sheets as well, which is just immense. It is, isn't it? And Liverpool were one of the top teams for XG conceded last season. And the start of the season, some of their fixtures are filthy. They really, really are. I think within probably the first 7 game weeks, their only tests, for me personally on paper, are going to be Manchester United and Crystal Palace. Whether or not Crystal Palace start the season like they finished the last one is a big, obviously, ask. And by that point, maybe that form's fell away as well. Maybe Elise leaving could have an impact on that one. But United away is probably the only really difficult fixture within the opening 7 game weeks you're looking at. Other than that, they play a newly promoted side on the opening day. Brentford at home, I feel they could comfortably win that one. Nottingham Forest at home, Bournemouth at home, and Wolves away. I think if I was to go for a premium asset, I think I would be leaning more towards Trent Alexander-Arnold than Gvardiol, in my personal opinion at the moment. I think there's better fixtures, and when obviously we get the data from 11FI, Rob T, FPL, looking at clean sheet data, I think Liverpool are going to outweigh Manchester City over those opening 7 fixtures. So for me personally, I think going for somebody like Trent Alexander-Arnold is better than going for Gvardiol. We know both of these players can put up amazing attacking returns. I think, if I remember correctly, the fullback at Feyenoord last season, where Arne Slot was, got 5 goals and 8 assists, if my research is correct on that one as well. So he also likes to have attacking fullbacks within his sides as well. So Trent at 7 million could be a little bit of a bargain if he continues to put up good attacking returns. Obviously, there is going to be a switch in system and kind of style and the new manager embedding everything in. But those opening 7 fixtures for me, realistically, I could see maybe 5 clean sheets out of the 7 in there, probably being the Manchester United and Crystal Palace game. And when we get the data, like I said, from 11FI and Rob T FPL, I think that could confirm the decision for me that Trent could be an amazing pickup this season and could be that one premium defender we all need come game week 1. Let me know what you think of today's video down in the comment section. If you've got any questions about your team as well, get them down there. And like I said, we are trying to hit 6,000 subscribers by the start of the new FPL season. So yeah, if you want to help me hit that goal, be sure to subscribe, like and comment. But thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen, and good luck in game week 1.